Hey, what's going on, guys? It is Crimson Cutter here, and in this video I'm going to be showing you how to become a better Fortnite player with 6 tips and tricks. So if you guys are enjoying my content, please leave a like down below, comment, and subscribe if you're new. Hope you enjoy. Okay guys, so tip number 1 I'm going to be going over is building. Now building is the most important thing I can express to you guys. It is one of the most valuable features in the game. Fortnite is basically composed of 2 major features, the guns and building. Now if you're only using guns, you're only having access to half of your potential as a Fortnite player. That sounds pretty good, right? You're pretty good with the assault rifles, but you're still not winning your games just because of the situations you get put in. Then building is exactly what you need to do. Building can be used to protect yourself from multiple attacks. Now if you're getting rushed by someone, you can build a little base and you can build up above them to get that height advantage if you want to get some nasty headshots with the shotgun. Building can also be used to get up to buildings, rooftops, mountains, everything like that can also be used in the middle of shotgun fights to protect yourself. If you just want to put down a wall like this and then another ramp, you instantly have the height advantage. If they try and go around, you just seal that off with walls, and you can jump on top of them without them knowing which direction you can come from. And again, I can't express how important building is in this game. Tip number 2. Okay guys, so tip number 2 is editing. Now the first one was building. This goes right along with it. Editing your stuff can be so important in so many battles. If you decide to watch a Twitch streamer and see what they do, they're very great examples on how to build and how to edit. A lot of them aren't PG, so I recommend listening to them without sound, or maybe trying to find one that is PG. But editing is so important to the game. As you know, when you hit your own structures, there's reduced damage, so you don't do it by accident and break your ramps a lot faster than you would want to, and give you like a disadvantage in this fight. But you can do so much with editing. If there is a wall between you and the enemy and it is owned by yourself, you can just make a little window in that wall and just shoot straight through it, and then if you need to close it up again, all you have to do is hit the reset button when you pull up the editing, and it's closed off again. This gives you such an advantage over your enemies because they can't edit your own walls. Now in most fights, when you have to build a lot, if you're finally getting into the building feature, you realize sometimes you get stuck. You're forced to build like a 4x4 around yourself and you don't know what to do. Editing is the main feature in fights like this. Trying to open up windows and doors to get that quick shot in there and then sealing it off again so your enemy can't get you. There's also many other useful features, like if you're stuck under your own ramp, you can edit it, cutting it in half or switching a ramp around. I don't really use that too much, but it can be used when you're camping inside a base. But that's pretty much all for editing. There's not too much about it other than you should edit. So on to tip number 3. Okay guys, so tip number 3. Now this is a very valuable one for those new players out there, is you don't have to crouch through the entire match. I see so many new players doing this. They hit the crouch button and they stay like that throughout the entire game. The only time you want to crouch is if you don't want to be heard by a player, like if they're in your vicinity. Crouching only makes yourself an easier target to hit. It doesn't reduce any visibility. Every good player out there is still gonna see you if you're crouching or running. It doesn't really matter. The only thing that crouching does is reduce your footsteps, so you don't need to crouch the entire round. I see so many people doing this. A lot of YouTubers who are new to Fortnite are actually crouching throughout the entire match. It only makes yourself a big target to snipers because you're so easily predictable. As you can see, when I'm crouching, I can only move at like 1 mile per hour, and to jump you have to press the jump button twice to get out of it, so they know when you jump. which makes you a very predictable target. So again, you don't need to crouch throughout the entire match. Only crouch if you're trying to sneak up on a player. Otherwise, I want to see you out of the crouching mode and into your game. On to tip number 4. Okay guys, so coming up on tip number 4 is crouching. And you may be like, wait a second, you just told us that we shouldn't crouch. Why are you telling us to crouch again? Well, you should and you shouldn't crouch. When you open up in a gunfight, you always want those first shots to hit, but Epic Games' first bullet accuracy just isn't first bullet accuracy. It misses. So it's not even first bullet accuracy. So you may get really angry at the game when those shots that are perfectly lined up just miss. But crouching before a fight increases your accuracy. As you can see, the reticle in front of me is very big while I'm running. When I stop, it shrinks down a little. When I look down the sights, it gets even smaller. But when I crouch, it gets even smaller. That's almost pinpoint accuracy. And if you don't know what the reticle is, the lines are basically the inside of those lines on the outside of that little dot. Basically, that's where the bullets will go. Now with the burst, I feel like it's a little different, and it may go flying off in different directions, not completely accurate to that reticle. But with almost every single gun with a reticle, crouching increases the accuracy tremendously. So before you go into a gunfight, always crouch to get that increased accuracy. You can stand up right after they start shooting back. You can do anything you want after that, but crouch so you get that improved accuracy. On to tip number 5. Okay guys, so coming up on tip number 5 is knowing your surroundings. So many people do this involuntarily. It's part of every single video game. You learn the map and it's almost automatically. You don't really need to do anything to learn the map except just land in different locations. Try to land at every single location on the map at least 3 times when you're starting off the game. Get to know every single nook and cranny of this map. It is absolutely huge and you have no idea where the circle's gonna land. Now if you're someone who's big on Tilted or Retail Row or places like that, and you don't come over to the Haunted Hillside, Pleasant Park, Anarchy Acres, you're not gonna know what are the best height advantages and what are the best areas to hold when the circle lands there. You have no control over the circle and it can go absolutely anywhere. So learn your surroundings, get better at the game. On to tip number 6. Okay guys, so coming up on tip number 6, that is tunnel visioning. Don't do it. It's terrible. If you tunnel vision someone, that means you're not focusing around your surroundings, and you're not looking behind you, you're not looking to the side, but you're just chasing after this person, and someone just walks up behind you and kills you, and you get angry at the game, and you start yelling at it, saying it's unfair, it's cheap, and whatever, all that stuff. But it was actually your own fault. You weren't paying attention to your surroundings and you just want to yell at it anyways, just to make yourself feel better. But you're not gonna get any better this way. You need to stop focusing on one player and you gotta focus the player that's coming towards you or is the closest to you. We need to know how to pick your fights. If you watch some Twitch streamers where they do solo squads, that is a great way to improve. I recommend muting them. Like I said again, a lot of them aren't PG with their language. So just turn down the volume and watch them. Just pick up some tips, just analyze what they do in every situation and try to replicate that. You know, it might not be perfect at the start. These Twitch streamers put like 24/7 into streaming. But you're eventually gonna pick those tips up and you're eventually gonna get better. So if you guys want to get better, just make it a point. I can't express that enough. It's better than any tip out there, is make it a point to get better at the game. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you guys like stuff like this, videos like this, please leave a comment down below saying you enjoyed it. If it helped you in any way, leave a like while you're down there and subscribe if you are new and want to see more content like this. I hope you enjoyed.